Today we'll explore George Orwell's Animal Farm, a powerful political allegory that reveals how power, corruption, and propaganda can reshape an entire society.
Detailed plot summary. Animal Farm is a political allegory and satirical novella by George Orwell. It tells the story of a group of farm animals who overthrow their cruel owner, hoping to create a society based on equality, freedom, and justice. However, their revolution is gradually corrupted as the pigs become as oppressive as the humans they replaced. The beginning, Old Major's dream. The story begins at Manor Farm, owned by the irresponsible farmer Mr. Jones. An old boar named Old Major gathers the animals and delivers an inspiring speech. He argues that humans exploit animals by taking the fruits of their labor while giving them little in return. He encourages the animals to rebel and teaches them the song Beasts of England, which becomes the anthem of their movement. The rebellion. A few days after Old Major dies, the animals revolt when Mr. Jones neglects to feed them. They drive him and his workers away and take control of the farm. They rename it Animal Farm and establish 7 commandments of animalism, the most important being, all animals are equal. The rise of the pigs. The pigs, especially Napoleon and Snowball, become the leaders because they are the most intelligent animals. Snowball organizes committees and improves farm life, while Napoleon secretly raises a litter of puppies, intending to use them for his own purposes. The Battle of the Cowshed. Mr. Jones and neighboring farmers attempt to recapture the farm, but the animals defeat them in the Battle of the Cowshed. Snowball displays great courage and becomes a hero. The windmill dispute. Snowball proposes building a windmill to generate electricity and reduce the animals' workload. Napoleon opposes the idea. During a meeting, Napoleon unleashes the fierce dogs he has trained, forcing Snowball to flee. Napoleon becomes the sole ruler and later claims the windmill as his own idea. Napoleon's dictatorship. Napoleon rules through fear and propaganda. Squealer, another pig, convinces the animals that Napoleon always acts in their best interest. The pigs gradually break the 7 commandments by sleeping in beds, drinking alcohol, trading with humans, and enjoying privileges denied to other animals. Boxer's loyalty. The hard-working horse Boxer adopts the mottos, "I will work harder." Napoleon is always right. He works tirelessly on the windmill despite exhaustion and injuries. When Boxer becomes too weak to work, Napoleon secretly sells him to a glue factory instead of providing medical care. Squealer lies, claiming Boxer died peacefully in a hospital. The final transformation. Years later, the pigs begin walking on 2 legs, wearing human clothes, and behaving exactly like humans. They replace the original commandment with, all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. In the final scene, the other animals watch pigs and humans dining together. They can no longer distinguish one from the other, realizing that the revolution has completely failed. Major characters. 1. Old Major. An old boar whose ideas inspire the rebellion. Represents Karl Marx and Vladimir Lenin. Believes in equality and freedom for all animals. 2. Napoleon. A Berkshire boar who becomes the dictator of Animal Farm. Represents Joseph Stalin. Uses fear, violence, and propaganda to maintain power. 3. Snowball. Intelligent, energetic, and innovative. Represents Leon Trotsky. Driven away by Napoleon despite his contributions. 4. Squealer. Napoleon's chief propagandist. Manipulates facts and deceives the animals. Represents government-controlled propaganda. 5. Boxer. A hard-working cart horse. Symbolizes the loyal working class. His tragic fate shows how dictators exploit honest workers. 6. Clover. A caring mare. Often suspects something is wrong but cannot challenge authority. 7. Benjamin. An old donkey. Wise, skeptical, and pessimistic. Understands the truth but rarely speaks out. 8. Molly. A vain white mare. Loves ribbons and sugar. Represents people who value luxury over political ideals. 9. Mr. Jones. the original owner of Manor Farm, represents Tsar Nicholas II of Russia. 10. The dogs, Napoleon's private army, represent the secret police who enforce dictatorship. 11. The sheep, repeat slogans without thinking, represent citizens who blindly follow propaganda. Main themes. 1. Corruption of power. Power corrupts leaders when there are no checks on authority. Napoleon gradually becomes as tyrannical as Mr. Jones. 2. Betrayal of revolutionary ideals. The revolution begins with hopes of equality but ends in oppression. The leaders betray the principles they once defended. 3. Propaganda and manipulation. Squealer constantly twists facts and rewrites history to justify Napoleon's actions, showing how propaganda shapes public opinion. 4. Class inequality. Although the revolution promises equality, the pigs become a privileged ruling class while the other animals continue to suffer. 5. Exploitation of the working class. Boxer represents hard-working people who are exploited by those in power despite their loyalty and sacrifice. 6. Abuse of language. Language is used to deceive rather than inform. The 7 commandments are repeatedly altered to suit the pig's interests. 7. Ignorance and blind obedience. Many animals cannot read or think critically, making them easy victims of manipulation and dictatorship. 8. Totalitarianism. The novel shows how dictators maintain power through fear, censorship, propaganda, and violence. 9. Equality versus privilege. The famous final commandment. All animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. Highlights the hypocrisy of those who claim to support equality while enjoying special privileges. Conclusion. Animal Farm is a powerful political allegory that illustrates how revolutions can fail when leaders become corrupt. Through memorable characters and simple storytelling, George Orwell warns against dictatorship, propaganda, and the abuse of power. Although inspired by the Russian Revolution and the rise of Stalin, the novel remains relevant as a universal warning about political corruption, manipulation, and the importance of protecting freedom and equality.